What's up, guys? Jackbot DFS. Wanted to go through the NFL slate tomorrow, kind of go through what I like the most, what stands out, plays if you're playing multiple lines, etc. Also, kind of give my top five plays per position tomorrow. Um, but here we go, man. If you guys haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. I appreciate all the guys who have already liked and subscribed, as well as following me on Twitter. Growing support, man, slowly, but hey, I appreciate it. I love the support and feedback. It's been great so far. Hopefully, you guys are liking the content, and hopefully, it's helping you guys win some money. So, like I said, if you guys do well and you guys want to share what you're winning, what you're doing, things like that, feel free. I'd love to see the feedback and see how you guys are faring along. So please do so. But anyway, let's get to the main slate for tomorrow. NFL, what stands out, what's nice price wise, etc. Um, Looking at the slate, starting off, top QB on the slate is obviously Russell Wilson. I like both the QBs in this game. I think this will be a shootout more or less than a defensive matchup. Kind of like, Dallas has kind of been doing that as well as Seattle. So they're bounce back teams. If they're down, they're going to fight to come back. These are not give up teams, so you like that with upside. Um, as far as the two, I do think you can find some cheaper QBs on this slate that will give you kind of the same um, upside as these two QBs. They're not my favorite plays this slate, but I do think they're nice spots, and I do think if you do decide to play either one of these two, Derek, Russell Wilson or Dak Prescott tomorrow, I can't really argue with you. That's a bad play. However, you might get a little bit if Dak is able to have a good day. You might be able to get a little bit better because his ownership is only 8%, so that's not terrible. But that gives you a little bit of upside. However, I think with Dak, he did get three QB sneaks in the end zone last week. I don't. That's not going to happen every week, and it's doubtful that he's going to have the upside that he had last week again this week. I wouldn't let those three QB sneaks. Like sometimes guys don't see the game, so they don't know really why the score's so big. They just see the number. Don't let that fool you if you're one of those guys who didn't or are not aware of why Dak scored so much last week. It wasn't from his arm. It was just the fact that he snuck in the end zone three times last week. So make sure you're aware of that. You want guys who are upside with mobile ability, but at the same time, Dak's not going to give you three QB sneaks a week. So he's not Cam Newton. He's not going to. He's just not that type of guy. So I could see most of the time when they're down in that area of the field, you're going to see like Elliott running the ball or something like that. You're not going to see Dak running the ball in there that often. So anyway, moving on. I love Kyler Murray tomorrow. He's one of my favorite plays at QB tomorrow. Love the upside. He's just been on fire. Don't really see that slowing down tomorrow at least. Love the matchup. Just a nice spot for Murray tomorrow. He is my number one top QB play tomorrow. Next is Cam Newton. Don't know yet if James White will play or not, but if he does or doesn't, I'd say if he doesn't, that brings a little bit more potential for Cam Newton because Cam Newton's going to just take over the run game a little bit. He'll run a little bit more, make a little bit more things happen. When they get down in the towards the end zone, Cam loves to run the ball and score touchdowns. I mean, that's just Cam. Always has been that way. He just has that kind of upside, and not to mention he threw for over 300 yards last week. So if he's doing both, I mean, it's hard not to like him anytime, especially he's going against a good matchup again this week. I love the spot for Cam. Don't know whether I'm saying that he's one of my top plays of the week. I think he'd be. I think he's probably 4 or 5 for me this week. Moving down the list, Matt Ryan is a no for me this week. I just think he's going to hit a wall. Matt Ryan kind of does that. He has explosiveness, and then all of a sudden he just hits this wall of like a cap wall potential, and I see that happening again this week. where he has done that in the past. I do like Joe Burrow this week. He's not one of my top plays, but I think at 6,200 he's going to surprise some people. This guy is going to come on at some point this year. It could be as soon as this week. He's in a great matchup. I could see him going off this week. He has the upside of mobility. This at 6,200, I mean, it's just a little bit too pricey for me with unproven results. I do like the play, but I don't like it enough to probably stab at it too much because he's just not shown enough yet to consistently make me have faith that he's going to put it up this week. And when you're betting money, you just want to go for more sure things than you would like a project kind of thing. But if you're playing multiple lines, I think he's worth the risk just to see what happens. These are how million makers are made. Just FYI. So taking risks on a sub 1% guy owned, and he breaks out and has a big game. That's how it happens. Nobody has him, and the QB of the week is probably like a Kyler Murray. For some reason, he goes down with an injury or has some kind of something happen where he just doesn't perform, and then boom, here's this guy with the sub 1% owned Joe Burrow who has a monster game, blows past the field because nobody has him. That's just how it happens. It doesn't happen all the time that way, but that's generally the concept of it. Moving on, I do like Phillip Rivers this week to have a bounce back game. I've been looking for it to happen. This hasn't happened yet, but I think it's going to happen eventually. This could be that week that Phillip Rivers finally gets it together. If Justin Herbert plays Sunday, which it looks like he probably will, I love his price, and I love that he's going against the Panthers. The Panthers are terrible in defense this year. I'm a big Panther fan. It kind of hurts me a little bit to say that, but in the industry, when you're playing DFS or any kind of sports betting, leave that fanship on the side when you're playing bets because that will get you in trouble. Being biased, playing your bets, that's only going to get you in trouble because we're all fans. This is to enhance the game, betting on it, but at the same time, you can't let that get in the way of the smartness of making good bets. So even though I'm a Carolina fan, I'm accepting the fact that they're terrible in defense this year, and I love the way Justin Herbert played last week. I just love the price, and I think he has huge upside. He's one of my top plays this week at quarterback. Moving on, love Ryan Tannehill. I think he has a great matchup as well. Love the price. It's hard to knock it. He is not my top play of the week, but I do like his price and I do like the upside. Mitchell Trubisky, life's got a little bit easier over their top corner for Atlanta. Turns out has COVID-19. We'll pay close attention to this game. Make sure nothing else happens. Rolled with the COVID-19. I don't know how close this cornerback. It was the top cornerback for Atlanta, the rookie. I'm not sure how close he was to the other teammates and things like that. I mean, if word gets out that he had contact with like a receiver or something like that, and they have to quarantine, this could be a mess leading into tomorrow. So let's just see what happens with that. But pay close attention to that Atlanta-Chicago game. I love Mitchell Trubisky tomorrow. I think he's been playing great, and he's probably in the best spot he's been in so far this year. Tomorrow, I love the play. He's obviously top 5 for me this week. Another player I like is Baker Mayfield. A lot of people may not be on him. He's only 1% on, and obviously Mitchell Trubisky is only 2% on. But look at how percent on these guys are. They're going to be top heavy on quarterbacks this week. Taking the cheaper salary QBs who have upside could really help you out. I love the potential of Trubisky as well as Baker Mayfield. I think these guys can come up and light it up. They're in great spots. Washington's offense just stinks, and if they're on the field all the time, I mean, all these guys are going to do is score. That's his points for Baker. That's his points for Chubb, etc. This week. So I can see Washington's offense struggling like as they have been, and then that just keeps their offense on the field majority of the game, and that's just nothing but goodness for the Browns side of the offense. So just something to think about. Do not like Teddy this week against a tough Chargers defense. Carolina's offensive line has been having some issues with injuries. That could dispel even more bad news. Teddy kind of had kind of a fallback last week. He threw an interception. He got sacked and fumbled the ball. That could just be poor from the offensive line struggling and having injuries as well. So I don't like the matchup. I don't think I'm not liking the upside for Teddy tomorrow. However, I do like Josh Allen's upside. With his mobility, he creates things and make things happen. He's got a speedster on there. He's got Diggs now. He's got weapons. So I do like Josh Allen. He's obviously always in consideration with his upside, and he's just been rocking it. 38, 33, 27, consistent, 6,900, cheaper than the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks on the week. He's in a little tougher matchup, but I don't see any reason why he can't be a top play this week. Always in consideration for me. But moving on to running backs this week that I like. Oh, here we go again. Moving on to stuff we're not supposed to be on. Moving on to running backs. All right. Obviously, Zeke is in another great spot this week. He's still been hammered down 23, 28 points, 30 points. I mean, the upside's there. One of the top running backs for me this week. Down on Henry, he's my top play at running back this week. I just love Henry's price. I love that he has a great matchup, as well as I look for a bounce back game from Henry. Henry hasn't really had that great breakout game this year yet, but I can see it coming tomorrow. My top play of the week at running back. Another guy underneath him, just alike, with an $800 difference in salary. Jonathan Taylor. This guy's going to get the rock. He's up against a bad Jets defense tomorrow. Another guy, top 5 running back for me this week. What's there not to like? I mean, the guy's getting the ball. He catches out of the backfield. Just primed to get points tomorrow. Just hard to go wrong with that price. The next guy I do like Eckler. The thing that concerns me a little bit about Eckler is the share carry that he's getting with the other running back. Against a bad defense, it's just hard to know who's going to get the points, who's going to score the ball. It's risky, more riskier with me. I do love Eckler tomorrow. I just don't like the amount of share time that he's getting with the other running backs. And for that price, you want to pay a price like that for a premier back who's going to be the only one really significantly running the ball. So I'm going to pass on Eckler most likely this week. Some type of consideration for him, but I do like him. I just don't like the share time. However, underneath him at 6,700, you got James Conner. Prime position. Perfect setup going against a bad defense. What's not to like? I love James Conner this week. He's also a top 5 running back for me this week. I also like Chris Carson. 6,600. You got a cluster of guys in this area that are just like prime target, probably from the $6,000 range, going up to 7,800, 8,300. All these guys make sense to me. Miles Sanders, perfect spot tomorrow. Another great matchup. Chris Carson, another great matchup. Kenyon Drake, top 5 running back play of the week for me. Love him pairing up with you put him in like a stack with Kyler Murray and like a Hopkins or something like that. Perfect sense. And majority time, the guys who win stack a QB and a receiver or something like that to maximize the potential. So you think about it, when a guy throws a touchdown, say Kyler Murray throws a touchdown pass to Hopkins, you're just shooting up because both of them guys are getting points at the same time. Just as well as Kyler Murray could throw a touchdown pass to Kenyon Drake. I mean, it's possible. Also like Mixon tomorrow. I think he's due for a breakout game. I like that as well. Not high on Gordon this week. I like Gordon. I just don't like him tomorrow. I think the Tampa Bay's defense is still pretty stingy, and for a guy like Gordon with the backup quarterback, I think it's going to be a struggling game for Denver. I don't like the opportunity that Gordon will play. I can see these guys being down a couple touchdowns early or something like that, and then them guys going to a lot like a backup or something and kind of sitting Gordon in the fourth quarter, something like that. You never know, but I don't like the upside for Gordon tomorrow myself. Um, I would love to say play David Montgomery, but he has a great matchup. But I just can't trust him. It's just hard to trust the Bears running back. Um, I just like to go elsewhere. I think if you just go up 300 more and pay Kenyon Drake, or if you just want to drop down all the way and go 5,000 for Joshua Kelly, who's the other side of sharing the rock with Eckler. Um, I mean, you could even drop down here and go with Jared McKinnon, who's going to get plenty of opportunity against a little bit tougher of a matchup. But look at the savings you get. I just trust that a little bit more. David Montgomery has shined sometimes. He's not had a terrible year so far, but he's only out there for 49% of snaps. I just don't like the upside. You know, I mean, I think Trubisky's throwing the ball well this year, and I think Cohen's one of those sneaky guys who could steal his thunder. And you could you could safely take 39 snaps with a Cohen and kind of feel a little bit better about that. I don't know. That's just me. I do like Chubb this week. I do like Hunt's upside this week. I think this is going to be a game where Cleveland has the ball a lot. And so plenty of opportunities, I think, for Chubb and Hunt this week. I do like Chubb a little bit better than I do Hunt, however. Um, Moss is going to be out for Buffalo this week, so Singletary may get all the run he wants this week. So just pay close attention to that. At 4,900, I think it's worth a shot this week. And then the last guy I'm going to talk about is Rex Burkhead. If White is out tomorrow, Rex gets he's the guy they go to do all the things James White would do. These guys still have Johnny Michel, but they don't depend on Michelle like they kind of did a couple years ago. They kind of love this scat back that can run the ball, can catch the ball. And if you notice the one game last week, last Sunday night, Burkhead was pretty much the guy on the field all the time. So I love the $4,000 price. If White doesn't play, he's a top 5 play for me tomorrow. Moving on to receivers. I love Hopkins. He's my number 1 play of the week. I love pairing him up, like I said, with Murray and Drake and all that. I think that's a great stack this week. Juju's also in a great spot, so I can't really argue with that. I just kind of dislike Ben Roethlisberger for some reason. I just have some real hate for him for some odd reason. I just think it's time to give it up and let somebody else. I just seen so many quarterbacks come in behind Ben Roethlisberger and not get opportunities, and it just kind of sucks that he always comes back. And I just think he's for Steelers fans. I'm sorry, I just not a great big Ben fan. I don't know. But Juju has the upside, so anything's possible. A couple touchdown day is not out of the realm of possibility. But look at the drop off from Hopkins down to Juju. I mean, it's just a massive drop. So actually, I love DK Metcalf this week, so he's one of my top 5 receivers to play this week. I'm kind of in a trio threes company with Cooper and Lamb and Gallup of Dallas. All these guys have upside. I do like the upside of Amari Cooper the best. I think he just gets the most targets. However, probably I like Lamb for second on Dallas, and then probably Gallup third. But Cooper's getting targeted, and I think he got 14 targets game 4 last, 9 targets last game. I mean, as long as he's getting passes and targets, the opportunity's there, obviously. But you can look at that with Metcalf. He's getting 8, 6, 6, and 8. But look at Hopkins, 16 targets the game before last, and then 9 only this past time. But he's getting targets, obviously. That's what you want. Next guy on the list is obviously Allen Robinson. He's the number 1 target for Trubisky. Like I said, he's going to be in a prime matchup to just eat tomorrow, as long as that game is played. As long as nothing happens with the COVID, one guy who got COVID. Hopefully that game continues on. If not, then just pay close attention to that. But if Allen plays and they play that game, Allen's in a prime spot to just eat tomorrow. He's a top 5 play for me tomorrow. Just easy yards. Um, I love Edelman this week. Um, had 11 targets, had a huge game Sunday night, um, and him and Cam are just building that relationship. He's questionable. He's always questionable. He's going to play. I mean, just chalk it up. He's just going to play. Do not like not high on Woods this week. Buffalo's a stingy defense. Terry McLaurin, great play. Two terrible defenses. Um, he got a lot of shine last week. 10 targets, 29 points. Scored a couple, one or two TDs. I can't remember if he scored two or one. But anyway, he's a prime target for Haskins. He's just going to keep getting the rock, whether they're down or up. He's going to keep getting thrown to. So nothing changed with that. 5,900, worthy price tag. Still pretty cheaper than he should be probably. I've already mentioned I like Lamb and Gallup. Dante Johnson's prices went up a little bit. Still love him. Going against a bad defense. This guy's getting targeted. 10 targets, 13 targets. I mean, when you're getting targeted that much, he's getting targeted as much as Hopkins is at 5,400 for like what a $4,600 or $4,000 difference. One of my top plays this week. Love Johnson's price. Love his targets. I think he's in a great spot. Another guy to talk about going down, Corey Davis. Another guy, prime target, cheap, going against a terrible defense. Another guy to love this week who has plenty of upside. Gage has kind of been the guy, talk of the town. This guy's getting 13, 12, 9 targets, plus he threw a touchdown. I tried to throw a touchdown last week. Julio dropped. This guy is getting production. He's getting targets. 5,100. Gotta love that price. I just don't like the defense they're going against this week. Slayton, don't love the defense this week that they're going against. And this is going to be a probably terrible game to watch. Two bad teams just playing against each other. San Francisco just have a lot of injuries. Wouldn't necessarily call them a bad team. They just got the injury bug right now, and hopefully their guys can pull it together before it gets too deep in the season and get it together, because they're definitely a playoff team with all their starters. Love Harry this week, questionable as well. He was limited to practice. I expect him to play. $4,200, 12 targets last week. Nice cheap play this week. Hard to go wrong if you want to stack Cam Newton, Harry or Edelman. Even Harry, if you want to kind of go for some bigger backs, some bigger, more expensive people, perfect targets like this will help you save the salary that you need. Adam Humphries is getting some love. 7 targets, 6 targets, 3,900. Not hard to not like that. Chase Claypool is going to be a big star for Pittsburgh. I know he's a rookie this year, but this guy has big primetime potential. He's already kind of shown that. He had 3 targets last game and still scored 18. Hard to not like this guy. If an injury happens in Pittsburgh, this guy's going to explode. So just pay close attention to that. But not with only getting 3 targets, it's hard to like that. Hard to trust it this week. Looking down the list here, Diggs some consideration. Ridley has been on fire. He's going against a little harder defense this week, but hard to pass up on Ridley. I mean, he's kind of one of those. He's turned into a great receiver now. I just don't think you should pass on him. I think he's just a play every week at this point until he starts. Until he has a bad game, I'd say he's just consideration every week. Stephon Diggs in consideration. 9 targets, 13 targets. He's been doing pretty well with Josh Allen. I like Josh Allen this week, even against a worse defense and matchup. Still in play. Odell Beckham. I like Baker this week. He's got to have somebody to throw to. Why not? Don't love the price. I think you can get some other guys kind of cheaper than that, but in play this week for me. If Herbert, you've seen Herbert throwing to Keenan Allen a whole lot last Sunday. I wouldn't expect it to change. If Herbert plays tomorrow and he's a starter, sign me up some Keenan Allen. I think that's prime matchup tomorrow to pair up with a Herbert stack. I do like Burrow. He's got to have somebody to throw to. Like both these guys to have a breakout game. AJ Green's back in the mix. 9 targets, 13 targets. Boyd 5 targets, 8 targets. These guys are due for a big game. Love these guys tomorrow as well with the Joe Burrow stack. John Brown as well to go along with Diggs. Love that stack. If you want to pair Brown, go for a little cheaper, save you some salary. Love Landry. If you want to do like a Baker Mayfield stack and you want to go with one of the running backs and pair him with like a Landry, no problem. He's a slot guy. Baker likes to throw to him. Nothing wrong with that. He comes at a cheaper price. I love Anthony Miller to go with Trubisky tomorrow. That could be a nice matchup for him tomorrow. A couple other guys I like for really salary saving this week is like Cole Beasley, Zach Pascal. But if you look, Demir Bird had 9 targets last game. He's only $3,000, worth a shot in multiple lines, and some small consideration for Ratley. He's only $3,000 as well. But I love the Bird. He's a starter right now, even though Harry's getting a lot of the playing time. He's out there for 87% of the snaps at 3,000. I mean, that's just a nice salary savings if he catches like 9 passes. Imagine that's 9 points on DK if he catches 9 of those passes. So just something to think about. Moving on to tight ends. I just love Jonnu Smith. I just think this dude's just going to explode again tomorrow. I mean, he's just had a nice start to the season. Don't see anything. He's my top play of the week, obviously, for tight end. Love Ertz. He's in a, even though Cincinnati and Philadelphia, they're both kind of shitty this year. Him and Goddard both are in play tomorrow, obviously. Schultz, still it's 4,500, man. He got 10 targets last week. Going against another terrible team against the tight ends. Nothing wrong with that. I do think, even though Molly Cox is up there, I do think, Jack Doyle is going to be back this week, so he'll probably go back to tight end 2. Not worth the play this week. Logan Thomas is getting targets. He's 3,700, worth a shot. Darren Waller, I'm sure he'll play. I think Bill Belichick will stop Waller. He had 16 targets last Sunday. He's not going to have a game like that Sunday. Bill Belichick ain't going to have that. And I wouldn't surprise me if they double him and force Carr to like throw to somebody else, which could really give him some trouble. He's really dependent on Waller to make those catches or bail him out. And I'll see that if that happens and they not stop Waller, I mean, we'll see if Derek Carr, can actually do anything with anybody else. Looking on, love Hawkinson this week, love Font. Both those guys are going to be, I'm not so sure about Font this week because of the backup quarterback, but Matt Stafford is loving passing to Hawkinson. This guy's getting targets. He got 11 in week 1, or the first game. Guys just has the upside. I do like Goddard a little bit more than I would for a Hawkinson for like 400 more or 400 less. I'm sorry. 8 targets, 9 targets, 8 targets. I mean, what's not to love? The guy's getting plenty of time. He's going against a crap defense. No reason not to love that. Probably Goddard and Henry are probably my favorite tight end plays this week. But outside of Jonnu Smith, if you want to salary save, Henry was the go-to guy for Herbert last week, and I just don't see that changing, especially against Carolina. They can't stop it. I mean, they just can't. They don't have anybody. 8 targets, 6 targets. I mean, the guy's going to eat $4,800 price. Easy money. Looking down, Drew Sample, another guy, $3,500. He's the starting tight end now for the Cincinnati Bengals. Their starting tight end got hurt. He's going to be out, I think, for the season. So it's going to be the Drew Sample show. I love this play. $3,500. He got targeted 9 times the first game, and he didn't even play. He wasn't even a starter for that whole game. So imagine what is going to happen against a terrible defense tomorrow. This guy's going to be in the passing game. He's going to be targeted. $3,500 worth plenty of shots here if you're playing multiple lines. Also like Jimmy Graham tomorrow. Something interesting. Also some consideration for Atkins as well. He's on the field 82% of the time. He's got 7 targets last week. Ryan Izzo is for the Patriots is on the field 98% of the snaps. It's kind of bizarre. He's not getting a whole lot of thrown his way, but still 98% of the time, it's huge. Consideration for Herndon, 73% of snaps. He got some nice target share second game. I don't love it. Not a great matchup for defensive purposes wise. I'd fade him tomorrow. However, Gronk has not had really anything go his way. This is going to change at some point this year. He's going to have a game. It's going to be the Gronk show. Worth a dart throw. In Thomas, same thing. Dart throw. Not really seeing a whole lot just yet. And that's pretty much it for tight ends. You got a lot of savings here in the middle. I'd stick with a Goddard, Henry. Hooper's just not getting the targets that he needs just yet. All these guys in that area, I kind of go like a Sample, Henry, Goddard, Logan Thomas even. I hate that play, but still, 8 targets, 9 targets. Ertz and Jonnu Smith. I mean, you want to go for guys with the target shares. I mean, if they're not getting opportunities, how the hell are they going to score you and win you money? So, just saying. Defenses I like for tomorrow. I do like the Colts. I think they're better than what they're getting credit for. Obviously, they're number 1 top defense for tomorrow. I like the Steelers. I think Watson's going to struggle a little bit. He does against the harder defenses. Not my favorite play. I think he can pay down this week. Probably my top pay up for defense this week is probably the Bucks against the backup quarterback. They've had some injury bug problems as well. I like the Tampa Bay play. I also like the Chargers play. Chargers are going against a beat up offensive line of Carolina without Christian McCaffrey. I like that as well. Looking down, I also like the Bills. But the play of the week is obviously the Patriots against the Raiders. I mean, $3,200 with a D like that versus an offense that's not quite up to par. Probably the play of the week. This will be popular tomorrow, I expect. But Browns, Pats, Bills. I think Goff is on the road, and he kind of struggles a little bit on the road. I mean, some consideration for 49ers. I mean, they're not going to be totally not the 49ers. I mean, they'll have some guys that are still. I think D Ford's coming back. This is going to be a struggling game to watch, I think. But, I mean, I think there's some considerations for the 49ers and Giants tomorrow. I mean, both of these guys are kind of going to be limping in. So we'll see. But those are the defenses I like for the week. I mean, say Pats, Browns, 49ers, Chargers, Bucks. Probably my top 5 for the week. So probably number 1 with the Pats, of course, because they're just so cheap. But anyway, guys, that's it for my NFL look for tomorrow. Top 5 plays and locks. Twitter, I will be answering questions up until tomorrow, start of the 1 p.m. slate. In YouTube as well, if you guys have any questions. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I appreciate the love and support, guys. I appreciate the comments, the likes, and things you guys have been doing. Really, really nice of you guys, and really nice. Get some feedback as well. So if you guys don't mind, if you guys have some good scores and things like that, please share. I'd love to see some of that stuff. See how you're doing with some of your lineups and things. Of course, if you guys want any kind of advice or you're just kind of on the fence about any plays, let me know. I don't feel free. I'll give you a second opinion about what I think, and um, you can kind of take what I think and what you think and put it together and maybe make something happen. So, but the lines are open there for that. But if you guys haven't liked the Sprout already, please do so. If you guys haven't added me on Twitter, please give me a follow over there. I've been trying to put out some NBA videos as well, to give you guys some advice on that as well. So, but anyway, guys, I wish you the best of luck tomorrow. I'll post anything if I hear anything last minute words on injury news and things like that, and post on Twitter if I like a play to kind of replace that one play or whatnot. I try to do that as well to kind of give you guys advice with that. But anyway, guys, have a great rest of your weekend. Hope you all win big money tomorrow. Please let me know. Share some content. Let me know how you're doing. And have a great night. All right, guys.